Previously on The Engineer, Ulfrun's Descent deals significantly reduced direct damage to armoured targets due to being slash. Ultimately, I just not bring an Ulfrun's Descent build to high level Grineer. I think it's about time I revisit that claim. I'm The Engineer, let's solve a practical problem. At the time this video releases, I'll be in Canada for TennoCon. You didn't think I'd go to TennoCon and leave you without a video this week, did you? Let's see what gift Voruna has received. D released an augment for Voruna's 4th ability, Ulfrun's Descent, which has made it substantially more usable, though it's not without downsides. This augment, Ulfrun's Endurance, will recover a charge every time an enemy in range dies with a slash proc on them. This is a very low bar to meet, as Ulfrun's Descent will guarantee a slash effect on a targeted enemy. So long as that enemy dies in range, you'll be charge neutral already. Combine this with the possible slash effects from Fangs of Raksh, which you should be using anyway, and you have the ability to even recover charges from last all the way back up to full. Remember, if you kill an enemy with the slash proc from Ulfrun's Descent, when they also got a slash proc from Fangs of Raksh, it'll spread that slash to nearby enemies for a burst of recovered charges. This has a further scaling bonus. Because you're able to keep charges, you're able to keep your accumulated damage and critical bonuses. The base ability would get as far as 9 times damage bonus on the 5th strike, before running out of charges and going back to nothing. With these new unlimited charges, you can instead climb to a max damage bonus of 10 times and keep it there. Sadly, in all the time since I released my original Voruna video, the bug to a critical damage multiplier has not been fixed. In hotfix in December, Voruna was supposed to gain 0.5 times extra critical damage per kill, that is per 2 times damage multiplier gain. Instead, she gains 0.1 times, a fifth of the bonus. This is still the case today, which means that with the 10 times damage multiplier, Ulfrun's Descent reaches a 1.95 times critical damage multiplier. Thankfully though, all the other buffs we can use still apply as expected. For a quick recap on that, we start with 5,000 slash damage on the first attack, so with the 10 times multiplier, that's 50,000 slash. We get double damage for hitting an enemy that has any status effect on them. We're now at 100,000 slash. We can scale with strength, such that 200% strength will give us 200,000 slash. Shroud of Dynar is designed to buff Ulfrun's Descent, giving us a guaranteed critical hit as well as a critical damage bonus. The critical bonus on Shroud of Dynar is 2 times normally, which with the 200% strength becomes 4 times, going alongside our existing 1.95 times for a guaranteed crit of 5.95 times. Our slash hit is now 1.19 million damage. And to top it off, if we had hit the enemy with 10 viral procs from Fangs of Raksh, the slash would be amplified again against health to just over 5 million damage, before even considering damage type modifiers. Now you might be wondering what happens when you come across an enemy with more than 5 million effective hit points, who doesn't die to all that damage. The good news is that by the time you've got to the 10 times multiplier, just 5 kills, you no longer need to worry about getting direct damage kills. You're no longer building up damage, just maintaining it, and slash proc kills are fine for that. A 5 million damage hit will give you a slash proc dealing 1.75 million damage every second as true damage. For comparison, a level 9,999 Steel Path Heavy Gunner has 805,000 hit points. Even without the viral status effect, with this amount of damage, you will guarantee its death, and the death of any other normal enemy. Anything that can't be targeted by Ulfrun's Descent like Aura Worms, or anything with nullifier capability like Demolishers, will be a problem for this attack style. In terms of building, Ulfrun's Endurance allows us to take the old build I showed in my original Voruna video and run with it. To get the most out of this and make it as viable as possible, this does end up being a high investment setup. I've swapped out Prime Flow from the old build in favour of Ulfrun's Endurance, and made up the max energy capacity using Azure Archon shards. I've also equipped a shard for casting speed, and a shard for starting the mission with more energy, to enable Voruna to get straight into the fight with all buffs active. The aura choice here is unimportant, only matching the polarity. You can spend the former or aura former to enable corrosive projection, for example. This setup relies on invisibility, benefiting from a weak shield gate, and otherwise having enough range, strength and efficiency to drop on your enemies before they can drop on you. Ulfrun's Descent doesn't fully break the invisibility from Shrouded Einar, but you will be visible for a short moment after leaping. You may also proc radiation with Fangs and Racks, causing dangerous crossfire. This is why we have Rolling Guard, for brief safety if your shields break in a bad spot. Likewise, the Aug mods can recover a tiny portion of shields for the weak shield gate. You could invest further to use Brief Respite and a Decaying Dragon Key, though you'll still need multiple ability casts for a full shield restoration due to the efficiency we're relying on. I stuck with the efficient approach and Arcane Energize, as having plenty of energy is crucial for this setup. If you cannot use Shrouded Einar, you die. No invisibility, no defense, that is a recipe for death on higher levels. Likewise, if you don't have the energy for Fangs and Racks, you're missing out on a whole lot of damage and charge regeneration. If you don't own Energize, then you can try to get away with Arcane Steadfast, or rely on Energy Pizzas for emergency top-ups as a last resort. Getting started in a new mission with this build will require you to pick out weaker enemies, or otherwise find a way to bypass their defences. For this, I recommend bringing Unairu as your operator-focused school. This will allow you to strip shields and armour instantly, clearing the way for your initial kills. This is the main reason I'm not suggesting Xenric for energy support. One more unfortunate fact to consider with Augmented Ulfrun's Descent is that while it's active, you cannot cast subsumed abilities. As cancelling Voruna's 4 loses all that damage we built up and need, we either want an ability which is Set and Forget, or an ability worth leaving her 4 behind. With Set and Forget, there are 2 options. First is Empower from the Helminth itself. This will give you a 50% strength boost to your 4th, allowing you to have a sizable extra chunk of damage. The second is Gloom, for a general crowd control and healing. I wouldn't recommend this, as it will be a noticeable energy drain for a Warframe focused on killing, not controlling enemies. The final option, the one I have equipped, is Silence. Voruna's biggest threat are enemies which can catch her, and the most dangerous one for this is the Violence Acolyte, as it also has the Silence ability. If you get silenced, you lose all your abilities, both for damage and stealth. The purpose of Silence here then is, should Violence spawn, or any other reason you are forced to drop your 4th, you can cast Silence to stun nearby enemies and prevent them from using all abilities. With a little bit of foresight, you can drop your 4th, cast Silence, restart your 4th, gain some quick kills on nearby weaker enemies, and be ready in time for Violence to actually appear. If you're insisting on not using an Iron Focus School, you can instead subsume Tharos Strike from Stylax to have a cheap defense strip ability when you're not actively in your 4th. This can be used both to start the mission, and if you ever need to turn off your 4th, reducing the barrier to regaining those damage stacks. I personally prefer the Unairu approach, not only for an energy-free means of defense stripping, but because it also gives a stronger operator for self-reviving should enemies manage to kill Voruna. It's taken a lot to make me really satisfied with the setup. Archon Shards, Arcanes, Operator abilities, and the Augment all coming together. It's still not the best killer in the game, but this does make Ulfrun's Descent a consistent option for all ordinary missions. That alone is success enough. I hope you found this video enlightening as to how this Augment finishes up Voruna's 4th and gives us a truly enduring ability. That's all from me for now, so as always, channel wolves, endure missions, and fight well, Tenno.